Number 3, the Honourable Clayton Cosgrove.
Mr Speaker, my question is the Prime Minister and asks, does he stand by all his answers to oral question number 6 yesterday?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker, yes, although I want to take this opportunity to clarify one point. I said yesterday that off the top of my head the cost of the Contact IPO as set out in the recent OIA to the opposition leader was 1.9% of the total amount raised. Turns out the cost was only 1.8% of the total amount raised. That compares to average IPO costs of 7% in the United States, 3 to 4% in Europe and 2 to 10% in New Zealand. In this context, the cost of the Contact IPO was low, and my expectation is very strongly that this will also be the case under the mixed ownership model.
The Honourable Clayton Cosgrove.
To the Prime Minister, has the cost of advisers' fees in floating the energy companies in Air New Zealand been factored into the Crown accounts, and if so, how much?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker, well, I can't be 100% sure, but I imagine that they would be, because we've taken ultimately into the Crown budgets the expectation of capital that we would raise, and that would be net capital, I would have thought.
The Honourable Clayton Cosgrove.
To the Prime Minister, isn't it true that Treasury has advised the government that recent floats have cost up to 9% of the sale price, meaning selling the state-owned energy companies in Air New Zealand could cost up to $600 million?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
No. What it means is that the last time an IPO was done by a national government, it cost 1.8%, and it's my expectations any other asset sales of a mixed ownership type would be of the same magnitude.
The Honourable Clayton Cosgrove.
Point of order.
Point of order, the Honourable Clayton Cosgrove.
I seek leave to table a memorandum of the 17th of May 2011 to the Minister of Finance and Minister of SOEs from the Crown Ownership Monitoring Unit. Quote, in New Zealand, large IPOs in recent years have cost around 2 to 9%.
Leave is sought to table that document. Is there any objection? There's no objection? There is no objection. The Honourable Clayton Cosgrove, supplementary question.
To the Prime Minister, will Kiwi mums and dads on the average wage facing steadily rising costs of living be able to buy shares in state-owned companies directly?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker, absolutely they will. They'll be buying them not only through their Kiwi Saver accounts, of which there is 1.7 million, and there are many others, because one of the differences between this government and the government that he was a member of is this government's delivering real wage growth to New Zealanders, and under his government there was no real wage growth to speak of. Mr Speaker, I know that the Leader of the Opposition is in Greece at the moment checking out their economic policies, but I suggest that they don't follow them.
Order. The Right Honourable Prime Minister was fine till that point, but members do not refer to the absence of any member from the House. Supplementary question, the Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Mr Speaker, why is the government engaging international energy capital experts if their priority is to sell it to New Zealanders?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker, I don't know which minister is asking for that advice, but what I can say is we've laid out very, very clearly what our expectations are under the mixed ownership model. We've made that absolutely explicitly clear that we expect New Zealanders to be at the front of the queue. New Zealanders, actually, Mr Robinson, the good news is that Treasury is working on exactly making sure that that happens, and I'm absolutely confident that the 1.7 million Kiwi Saver accounts, the billions of dollars invested in the New Zealand Super Fund, the billions of dollars invested in ACC, the many thousands of retired New Zealanders who have extra savings that many other New Zealanders will invest. And I say to those New Zealanders, here's your chance. Invest in a good New Zealand company, or continue to look for Labour, who will deliver you a failed finance company to invest in.
The Honourable Trevor Mallard.
In light of his acceptance yesterday that some of the shares will be sold offshore, are Chinese or Australian investors his priority?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker, that's not what I said yesterday, and the member should go back to Hansard, and I just refer the member to actually the Treasury advice to the government, which says widespread and substantial New Zealand ownership of assets is achievable.
Point of order, Mr.
Point of order, the Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Mr Speaker, no, I think I will leave it, Mr Speaker, but I will remind you of our discussion yesterday.
Order.
Point of order, Mr Speaker.
Well, order. I'll listen to the member's point of order, but it needs to be a point of order. The Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Point of order, Mr Speaker. Can I request that you refer to the Standing Orders Committee that answer of the Prime Minister with reference to finding a midpoint between a breach of privilege, which involves deliberately misleading... and
Order.
misleading.
Order. Now, I'm not happy with that at all, because that was a technical way of alleging that the Prime Minister, in the member's view, has misled the House, and that is unacceptable. That is not the way to handle that matter. And the only conclusion I can draw is that the member is attempting to score a political point through doing that, and the point of order process should not be used for that purpose. The Prime Minister when the member asked his question, the Prime Minister referred back, he claimed his Hansard would have shown that he did not say what the member alleged in his question, and the Prime Minister is entitled to do that. And so I think that's where the matter should end. Question number 4. Point of order, the Honourable David Cunliffe.
It's a separate point of order. I seek leave to table a statement of specific fiscal risk from the Budget Economic and Financial Update.
Oh, no, order. Is that a document the members already have from the budget?
Well, they may or may not, sir, but it relates...
No, well, we're not going to seek leave to table it then. The member will resume his seat. Question number 4. Pesara Sam Lord Tuienga.
Talofa lava, Mr